gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Starladder iLeague Star Series Season 3. We are still in our first stage, or second stage, I suppose, as it is the knockout stage. But we are going to be going into FlipSide versus Epsilon. Joining me once again will be Hugo Byron, and I'm just going to put the maps up on the screen because I don't think we have long until we actually start.
No, we are going into Mirage as our first one, obviously. The map pick of Epsilon, and quite an interesting one. We got some topics to talk about. Obviously, FlipSide, for those who are unaware, lost against Endpoint, one of the better UK teams, but Endpoint with a new roster.
UK.
Yeah, better, not good. Better. No, better UK teams. But the thing is, they just had a roster change, right? Like a couple of hours before the match, obviously. So they had technically what would be considered two stand-ins, and FlipSide lost them like 16-13 on this map. So going into this, I'm going to hedge my bets on Epsilon for sure on this first map. As a whole in the series, I feel like Epsilon have been playing fairly better than FlipSide in terms of online results. So I think it'll be quite interesting to see. But Train will be a second map, and third, if we need it, will be Overpass.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting prospect at the moment. As FlipSide have not been looking particularly good, especially online. They are always a team where you sort of look towards them and say, well, they've got talent, that's no doubt. But for some reason, if they're not on LAN, they're not really a team to fear too much. Now, not having them in Kiev would be an absolute travesty. I have to say, I do love them going. Like last time, they actually ended up getting further than Na'Vi, who were obviously the favorite Ukrainian team. So if they don't go through, I will be a little bit disappointed. But at the same time, I think Epsilon are a team who definitely deserve sort of more higher tier LAN experience. They've got a lot of talented players, and hey, I could definitely see them like squeezing their way through this qualifier.
The thing that scares me about Epsilon, at least, is that they seem like a farm team, almost like, I don't know, like Penta, for example. They get all this good talent, they put them together on a roster, and then they start to get swiped, like Disco Dominance to Fnatic. And while that's the only notable one that's happened, I feel like that's something that may become apparent as something that will happen every now and then from Epsilon, much as how it has in the German scene quite a lot in terms of Penta and the whole mouse sports thing over there. So I feel like even if Epsilon kind of get to a good level, right, there's a very good chance that these players might be bought out. So again, looking at the future of these guys, it's really uncertain to say, but we are going to be heading into the pistol round nonetheless.
Look at this.
Epsilon on the CT side.
This is very aggressive from Epsilon. They got two players going into underpass, one then holding into mid. Aggressive push as well from Freddy as they look to sort of pincer onto that control of upper B. It does leave only one player, but quick trade. Rez will get one. Markelov will be able to get one back. Now, he's got to be very careful because there's still a player above him, and that's in the form of Freddy. And, well, yeah, Markelov's going to win that duel as well. Absolutely fine for now. Trade will come in. Actually leaving a few better pistols to come into the hands, possibly of the CT side, if they so desire them. At the moment, it is going to be this A-Take. Nice shot from Waylander. Just doubles up, leaving it onto Draken. Not in a bad position. Won't be able to deny that blunt. Still gets the kill onto Blade as well. He does have the kit. He doesn't even see Waylander. Eventually kills him as well, leaving it just onto World Edit. 1 versus 1. And the kit's already defusing that bomb.
Oh, that was so close. Well, it takes him down. That could have been good, though. He crouched into the bullet, which is unfortunate, but can barely blame him for trying to make his target smaller. It will be the round going to FlipSide, though, obviously. So now Epsilon, they are going to be on the forcing side of things, and not a good way to start things off. Soon this is their map pick, but obviously FlipSide go for the investment, taking their time. They've got a couple of Mac-10s in the mix, and obviously the UMP, as it would be expected, as you see a couple of AKs also be brought up. So nothing too special, but a deagle in towards mid, not even using a scout here. This could be dangerous if he hits his one tap. Rez could open this round up with style, but no, he misses it. They cross, they get away safely. It's going to be Freddy to take the fight down his connector. He gets tagged. Oh, no, chase as well from underpass. Blade taking him down with a Mac 10 and a bit of money for Blade there.
Yeah, they are going relatively risky on this, especially with the MAC-10s, but it's looking like it's working out wonderfully at this moment in time. Still got Draken to rotate in with Rez, but... Ooh, okay, Rez. Managing one at least, but not going to be anything too much. Don't think Electronic... There we go. 3 attempts. Obviously, has his keyboard in 2 different languages, but we will have Draken just looking for the kill. We'll be able to get one more. May just try to keep this into the next round. Doesn't really want to go for too much, as not really expecting him to be able to achieve anything.
Nope, and he's going to be hunted. Taken down by Waylander. I do love that bounce into the window room. I'm not sure if you caught that.
Yeah.
After he got the wallbang, he bounced in there. And the way you do that is you essentially do a bunny hop and you crouch right as you hit right as you kind of enter the hole, and then you bunny hop crouch out, and it's really, really fast. It means you don't get stuck, and it's very surprising if you do it into window and catch someone off guard there, because your model just goes flying. But it's very, very hard to hit, even from a good player. So now full eco, pretty much. A couple of pistols, that's it. Fast mid-control for FlipSide. They want to bring the fight to Epsilon this time. Not going to be holding back. Freddy B. Oh, somehow he gets a kill onto Blade. All right. He does get traded, and lots of damage does go off from Rez. But again, there's so many SMGs here in middle. It's not going to be an issue for FlipSide to clean up these armless players, even though they do lose the man advantage. Okay, things started to look dangerous, but Markov will pull it back. Waylander as well. They close it out eventually. FlipSide are going to save 2 rifles. That's good enough there as they go into the next buy. And if anything, it actually is a better situation for them, considering they lost 3 SMGs, right? So it could have been the bonus round coming in here that they may have lost. So this forcing them to buy up the AKs again may actually help them in the long run. But who knows? Epsilon are on the AWP. World Edit's, of course, dumbing his. Draken has no armor as he sets up towards the A site, trying to look for that ramp pick.
Oh, the standoff. It's going to be World Edit. Picks the first kill up. Draken is down. The first AWP duel will come in straight away, and it is won by the Russian. But we will see whether or not they can actually capitalize on this. They're going for a little bit of mid-control. Khaled going to be boosted up. Actually going to get the first drops. The bomb. The flash will be coming back through. It is perfect. Electronic catching him out. In the meantime, Markelov will get another one. It leaves just Freddy and Rez to try and challenge back into this round.
Yeah, at least the bomb is dropped, but the issue is Waylander's holding on safely to that one. If Freddy pushes out, he is going to have to check his left corner. He does. Waylander's looking away, and a free kill comes his way. However, Electronic in the meantime, he's got himself a refrag. Rez, aggression on short, going to get punished. And now Freddy, he's got players coming from all angles, both one on the A site and the window room going to be taking control of, even top mid. As World makes his way up with the AWP. Freddy's got a lot to do. The nade, I think Markelov just spotted his head there. Yes, he knows what's up. Good dunk. Half of his HP gone. And World, here we go. That's going to be it. Flanks background. FlipSide take it. There will be 4 rows, so good stuff.
Yeah, not a bad start overall. FlipSide getting their 4th round over on this T side. An important first pick. Obviously, Draken is somebody to watch over on that CT side, but if he's removed instantly from the round, then not really much it can do. I'm personally probably favorite player in the server. Maybe favorite player just overall, Electronic. I've been watching this guy for quite a while now. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I love watching him play. Just a ridiculous talent. I want to see if he can prove that today. I think he is definitely one of the win factors for this FlipSide team. But so far, so good. Everybody's stepping up. Blade hasn't really had much to do. Well, he's in-game leading anyway. We know he's the anti-stratter. And in this round, well, Markelov is there to start. Kale will actually be able to get one back. Looking for a little bit more, but Electronic is there to trade once again. In the meantime, a little bit of spam from Draken to try and stop them pushing onto that site, but it's already done. This round shouldn't be going any other way. Nice jumps from Freddy. He's got moves. Unfortunately, can't hit the shots.
FlipSide looking very good together as a team so far as well. We are early, yes, but considering this isn't exactly, well, a great map for FlipSide going into this one. 5-0 already. This is definitely a good start. They
want to play in Ukraine. They want to play in Ukraine.
Yeah, this is typical FlipSide, right? Step up in the qualifiers, step up in, that's it. Step up in qualifiers. They don't do anything else. At least in the ESEA Premier, no, just being honest, in the ESEA Premier, for example, they don't really seem to have too much success. And other leagues that they play, but going into this, performing very, very well. So, yeah, looking like they really want that spot in Premier. However, there's a long road ahead of them. Not Premier. Well,
I don't think they want that spot in Premier.
No, they want their spot in Ukraine. That's what they want.
Well, it must, like, I can't imagine what it would be anyway.
Tom, that's like this is us trying to qualify for an iSeries. You know, it's a keen patriotism.
Yeah, it's like really exciting.
Trying hard. I mean, for iSeries, you only need to pay 50 quid and you're in, but you know what I mean. It's a patriotism. They want to play on the stage. And they are doing very well, but Epsilon, pushed up top mid.
Calais will there be there to start. It's going to be Blade down and out. Not really any chance for a trade either. The rest of the team are going to fall back a little bit just to try and deny any further aggression from this CT side. Interesting smoke. Not really sure what that will achieve. Just stop them pushing, I suppose, but I think it had a little bit of a gap in it. So we will see the fallback of Freddy. Rotation has come in from Waylander over towards this A site at the moment, while the rest of the team are just gathering up in the B app spot. Now, what I did with this AWP is just trying to hold, just to make sure that there's no further aggression from this CT side, but there isn't really a reason for them to do so. They have a little bit of information just because they cleared that spot early in the round. Obviously rotations are available, but they have the man advantage. All they have to do from here on out is to just work on those trades.
Yeah, a good opener. Can they convert? That's the question. Freddy does follow up over towards middle. Actually going to be able to take down Wilder over on short, but the back off will get caught from Electronic. He knows there's a player above him. He can hear the footsteps, so he needs to stay careful, stay wary of the player just above him. But in the meantime, look at his aggression. Oh no, the timing. Waylander's found himself out of the palace, and in the meantime, Barbar's pushed down ramp. So now the A site, it's not going to be covered. Barbar about to jump back up. He spots him. There's the spray, but he doesn't connect enough bullets for the kill. Waylander though spotted. Now Barbar just has to be in position. Wait for the push. He lands it. Electronic, last man standing here. It's already fallen apart.
No time.
And yeah, it's going to have to be the save.
Yeah, unfortunately, they actually took quite a lot of map control in this round. You saw them put, like, Markelov push all the way out of B apps, get himself onto truck. The same was happening on the other side of the map with Waylander, just trying to take control over towards Palace. But both of them lost their duels. If they both won, the round completely turns on its head as they have both sites under their control. And then Electronic can gamble on one, choose the teammate he wants to join while the other sells the fake. Instead, both players lose their duels. Electronic is just left in the middle, sat there waiting, hoping that somebody will make a fatal mistake, maybe just kill all his own teammates. That's the only way that would ever have gone in another direction. And once again, we're going to see a little bit of aggression coming out. Early damage done. Got it already down to 37 HP. Calais still looking to challenge. Does have to be careful. There is still an AWP on World Edit.
Yeah, he's lethal no matter what health you leave him on. Electronic going to be throwing that smoke back over in towards middle to allow him to get a bit of a push going on. He'll be landing to there. Still no openers found. And FlipSide just trying to set up for this A split, but the issue is they're having trouble getting this deep mid control. Lots of aggression towards it. Epsilon have a double connector play. Freddy, he's going to get flashed out. I think Markelov knows he's still there. You can see the barrel of the gun. Oh, how did he get the dink there? He just does the damage and backs off safely. Nade to follow. So close, but it just falls in that little cubby hole there, so Markelov makes it out alive. Freddy, he knows he's done the damage and he wants to convert it. He carries on his push down to last. Oh, that's perfect. He takes the kill, but can he get away? It seems like he can. Backing off into the connector. Electronic won't be able to trade, and Barbar will drop one over towards ramp. Nice stuff. Doubles it down as Blade drops out of Palace. It's all onto World Edit, and he may be lethal, but it's a 1v5. I think it's all over.
Yeah, Calais even going to peek out. Aggressively, they keep every single player alive in this round. No bomb plant is also going to make things a little bit more difficult for the buy coming in this round for FlipSide. Now, you look over towards Markelov. He may just be able to drop a few pistols and they could wait for the next round. Obviously, 2,400 going into the account. Instead, he's actually going to buy up a bit. Now, this is sort of it's a bit of a half buy. But the problem I have with it is even with 2,400, a lot of the players aren't actually going to be able to buy. And they actually now just completely buy down. I was thinking that was a little bit odd.
Yeah, I mean, not a great one. If they had a bomb plant in the previous round, it would have been a far easier one. But either way, they save a bit of cash to play with in the next round. Combine that with the loss bonus and the bomb plant money, they should have enough on a few of the players. So let's see how this one goes. Smoke setup is going to be over the A site. They don't have a lot of utility to play with. It's mainly just flashbangs here on this T side. As they set them up, Barbar gets himself into a close angle. Bomb is dropped, and that's the information granted over to the side of Epsilon. While he is traded by Blade, still we can see this rotation. Instantly they start to shift. Epsilon know exactly what's going on. And there we go. Freddy, he's going to clean up two more. World Edit now last man standing. Gets one, gets two. Okay, World Edit. He runs out of ammo, but still he's done the damage. Issue is now the double peek is in. So they're going to be more than prepared to deal with this. They actually rotate play back in towards the CT spawn. try and reposition. Wait for the bomb plant. Don't throw this round.
Yeah, well done. It does have quite a bit of time to play with and a tiny bit of utility. Not really the 2 nades that he would have wanted in hand at this point in time. An incendiary or a smoke would have been far more useful, especially the smoke, as that might have actually given him an opportunity to get the bomb down. At this point in time, he's more just hoping that somebody makes a mistake. Now, you can see Callie's rotated his position just to try and catch him. If he decides to rotate back over towards that B site, he can spot both out, just in case he does look to cut back in. And obviously, Rez just waiting for the plant. The second that plant is attempted, well, that it should be dead. Now, he's looking to try and get this 1v1 duel, but it's not going to happen. Kelly will peek back in, and that is going to be another round on the board for Epsilon. Finally, getting themselves a streak, and not really an opportunity here for a buy from FlipSide. Maybe just a pistol or two.
Yeah. Just going to be safe. Couple of P250s, a Tech 9 on electronic. Actually, some armor behind that. Thing is, the loss bonus has gone up after this one to 2,900, so they're going to be on 6k, 5k, around that on most of the players. So even if they do invest in a bit this round, it won't be too much of an issue. Issue is Barbar. He's already opened things up. FlipSide have found themselves deep into middle, but again, we have Freddy B up here in the window room waiting to take the fight. The flashbang going to be set up. This will be the pop flash, and he actually goes for it. Draken, though, he opens on up in the meantime, but it's still Freddy to clean. Apparently not. Gets dropped after 1, but still, Markelov is alone. Pistol armor. Probably going to be the round to Epsilon hit.
Yeah, the bomb is in such a horrific position as well, so the chance for catching... What? Why are you running backwards, Markelov?
New strat.
Maybe if I can't see them, they can't see me. Markelov strat. That was interesting. And that means bad. I don't really know what he was doing, but okay. Rez will get a free kill. It's going to be the buyback up on the board. They're still in the lead, 5-4 up on the T side as well. So we'll be feeling pretty confident at this stage. And more importantly, they have Mr. World Edit back on the AWP to challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very important. He sets up towards middle here with electronic. Nades will be going in. He'll be pushing up towards short. He should have an opening here just to peek himself out into the window room, but it's going to be electronic actually pushing up aggressively. Molly cordons off the short area. Blade opens things up into middle. That's going to be a good first pick, but Callie going to be boosted up doing the damage. He drops back down as well, so escapes there, but Rez, he still found himself in an unorthodox position, pushed up, and there's a free kill. Electronic was not expecting it. Waylander, well, he does get the trade. It's still going to be a 3-on-3. HB favourable to FlipSide in this one. Utility extremely limited on Epsilon. They still have a smoke on the T side just to get themselves into a site. They can use that over towards window or even back off towards the A site and throw down that jungle or CT smoke. But right now they're just waiting for Epsilon to peek out again to try and take the man advantage back. And oh, he scoped in on the wrong area. Rez drops him.
Yeah, this leaves him quite isolated. A lot of it is going to come down to Markelov, and he needs to actually get across and clear the car. That's the big position that's really problematic at this moment in time. And obviously you got Calais just waiting for the headshot angle. Doesn't have any clue, and Waylander now down to a 1 versus 3. He has 30 seconds to play with, and he's got to try and find something very, very quickly. Now the likelihood is that vent's not going to be popped, so the chance of him actually getting anywhere near this site is now pretty slim. 2 players already waiting over in this direction. Rez perfectly placed, and that will be back to 5-5. The streak continues for Epsilon.
Yeah, it's just looking dominant for FlipSide at the beginning, but now we go into the buys, and Epsilon really not giving up. Oh, this buy again from FlipSide. I don't know, man. I don't know. You can only get 2 rifles out of that unless you go for body armors. Galil body armor. I don't know if I can justify it. I get the UMP buy is OP right now, but you could have gone for some kind of quasi and then invested next round. It's clear Epsilon are not expecting this because they've gone for the mid stack here. Anti-flash is set up. They're going to be ready for it. Fast push out from Blade. Underpass control is going to be his. And World 8 will follow up as well. It's nice entries on FlipSide. At least they actually do get control of mid. And at least maybe I eat my words because FlipSide have a really, really good start into this round.
Yeah, the start is good. Draken's still waiting. And they're trying to take a little bit more back in terms of mid control. Calais looking for the shot. Will spot electronic. They now know his position. That nade will do almost take down World Edit as well. That would have been problematic. But it's still more important going to be Barber. He's going all the way around the back. He spotted the bomb. Will Waylander expect it? He will, and still going to take that kill as well. So really not working out at the moment for this CT side. They've made some decent plays, some decent reads in this round, but not a single one has worked. Draken, again, well, I was going to say he's got the AWP, but Calais in the meantime has lost his life, and that's the B site gone. He should just be trying to save. The problem is there's players pushing. They know where he is, and Electronic not going to miss from there. Headshot instant, team ace for FlipSide, and they're back on the board.
Again, issue with the reset potential as Epsilon have had a 5-round streak. And money isn't an issue as of yet, so they will be able to buy up again, although it is very close to being, while Rez can obviously be the bank for the team. There's not really a lot of money spread between the rest of the players. Only 2 players above a K, and the rest of them all down below. So, yeah, this is quite dangerous for Epsilon, because obviously, while it is a good chance to get a reset, if they lose this, we're going to see FlipSide take a very dominant T-side a few more rounds easily. But Draken, what can you say about that?
Boosts himself up. Lovely stuff. Freddy through the smoke as well. More than it, nothing he could do in that sort of situation, and the reset may actually be going back towards that T side. Now, they have a little bit of extra money, so they probably could pull out a buy, but it's not going to be any better than the one we actually saw in the previous round. So a lot needed to be done, at least damage by these remaining 2 players. Blade has managed to retrieve the AWP, but is he going to be aware of the player close by? Barber going to push in. Nice no-scope from Blade. Manages to pick up 1. But it's still going to be this 2 versus 4, and 3 of them are actually around connector and jungle.
Yeah, and time is of the essence at this point, right? Because they can't take this one nice and slowly. FlipSide, a team similar to Na'Vi in the sense that they really like these slow executes on the Blade. They have to hurry up and get onto this site. Blade will be doing so, but the issue is 2 players close to jungle, as you say. Freddy cordoned on towards stairs. Does go down to Waylander. That will allow Blade to cross. Spots out the player. Actually jumps and still survives it. His teammate falls in the meantime, but still, look at the damage that Blade has done.
They need this
with the combination of Waylander and the bomb, it's going to get down, and there we go. That's the money guaranteed. That's perfect here for FlipSide. Issue is, can he convert it into the round? Rez is wrapping into his CT spawn.
Going to see the pot flash come up. Blade actually looks away with that. I have no idea how he knew that was coming, but he did.
You can hear the pin.
Blade not quite managing to clutch this out. It will be 2 players surviving.
You can actually hear the pin being pulled on grenades. It's really faint though, but the thing is, there were no footsteps and there's no noise that round, so as long as he had his sound turned up, he should have been able to hear that pin pull. It's very common that players do that, and then you think, how the hell did they know that there was a grenade being thrown? And then you realise, oh, they can hear it. So either way, FlipSide still able to buy thanks to that bomb plant. That has really taken a load off of their shoulders. Electronic's going to be a little bit handicapped with his investment, but the rest of them going to be fine. Epsilon double up out. Draken and Rez here. 1 over towards short, 1 over towards connector. The crossfire onto middle. And the window control even going to back off it from Freddy. He'll focus over towards the A side. And that's a good decision right now, because look at the positions of FlipSide. They are ready to push out of A, ramp, and Palace. And they're just going to run right out. Blade, fully blind, just takes a kill onto Barbar. And now they've got the site under control. Great stuff.
Yeah, Draken isolated out by the smoke. This will leave the bomb going down. There is a little bit of a lurk as well in the form of Electronic. He's got himself the Tech Knight. Going to play those close range angles. Bomb planted, but there he goes. Lurk is removed. Now it's all down to the players actually on the site. Calais going to be pre-firing, expecting there to be someone taking connector control, but all of them are now over towards the site. CT control is already in the hands of the T side, and this makes this retake very, very difficult at the moment. Now, they do have utility to play with. Calais has a Molotov to throw in, going to be used to clear out Palace and just hold the angle. Nice work from him. Rez will get 1 more, but it's double up on a retake. They shouldn't be able to do this, but Rez is making a damn good go. Blinded as well. Well done. They're going to be caught in the corner. This leaves it all onto Markelov. The bomb being defused, and he's going to deny it. There's nothing that can be done now. Rez going to try and make his way out, and so will Markelov, but everybody goes down for FlipSide to get them their 7th round. Wow,
that's actually really, really impressive from Epsilon, at least in terms of the retake. They didn't get away with it, but at least with the AWP ping work, very, very nice. It's very uncommon that you see a double AWP setup work in retake. It's typically one of those kind of stand outside, wait for exits. But no, they do get the kills. However, FlipSide just going to get the better of them with the time being too low to commit to anything other than the defuse. Either way, Epsilon investing back in as a reset does come onto the resetters. Although it doesn't matter to Freddy. He has an email. He's got a pistol, and that's going to do the job. Deeg onto World Edit. Orpa is gone. Calais will follow up, but at the cost of his life.
And this spy now starting to look much, much better for Epsilon. They still have the AWP. They have a rifle. Not a bad position at all. And Draken's not going to miss that shot. Just steps up, takes down one more, and gives them a 2-man advantage going into a round that really they should have had a disadvantage for. In terms of the remaining players, they are just around, well, in apartments. And Barber is so aggressive going into T-Spawn. Once again, leaves it all onto Electronic. He's got to try and find 4 players. Now, he's been good so far, but this is going to be needing to be a ridiculous step up from him. And he can't even really pick up the rifle. He picks up the AK, and they know exactly where he is.
Yeah, at least he has the time to play with, right? But they're all surrounding him right now. Rez coming in from the back. Nice nature, do some damage, but he actually backs off. Still takes 40 from it. Electronic not able to follow up as of yet. No real reason for Epsilon to push up too aggressively, right? Because they want to hold on to all these guns for the next round. It will be the last of the half, so having at least 3 alive is going to be important so they can actually drop guns over. There's no reason to go down for no... Well, just a chase. Either way, Electronic going to drop 1, turns back on, and Rez is there. So only losing 1 more. Epsilon keep 3, and that's going to be positive. They can drop guns over. It's not going to be limited that much for the last round. And FlipSide, on the other hand, they are, well, on the other hand, 1k between 2k.
Yeah, it's just going to have to be pistols brought in for the last round. Not really going to be anything too much. I think some of the players may not have even realised it was last round for a second. Just going to be like buying nothing and then told by the in-game leader, okay, yeah, you're going to need to get something in your hands for this one, boys. It's the last round of the half. Obviously, no matter what really happens here, this is a pretty good half for FlipSide over on their T side. We're going to see how their CT setup obviously stacks up. They had problems yesterday for sure. Losing 10 point is not something they really want to have on their repertoire. Even though they have fielded a UK player before, I don't think that was anything they really expected to happen.
Still slow from Epsilon and that of FlipSide as well. I like the bait and switch play over towards ramp. Very, very nice. Barbar just playing close. If Rez gets spotted, he backs off. Barbar takes a kill, but no one's feeding in towards there. It's the mid control that we're seeing. Blades trying to come into the connector, but it's actually going to be the short push, in which case they split in with the apartments play into B. Calais playing over towards the site. He will be spotting them out and just throwing in a counter molly as he backs off. The pistols somehow working out. They have control of the site. The bomb is down. And a 3-on-5 retake for the last round of the half with an AWP. This is looking good for FlipSide.
Yeah, they've just got to play close range after plants. They know exactly what they're doing in this sort of scenario. Already getting 2 players up close into market. And you can see Electronic, he is just trying to bait in that AWP. Just almost go, okay, don't check the other angle. But he actually shoots through it. It doesn't do any damage to World Edit though. He's just going to sit there, hide around the back. And as the push comes in, World Edit is laughing as he gets a free kill. Thought the wallbang would do a little bit more. We will see 1 kill for Rez. Barber on 1 HP. And Rez, well, he's just running into his death at this point. 8-7. FlipSide take the half. And a quick round catches them all off guard.
Really good stuff for FlipSide. I mean, their T side so far has been very, very strong. A great start. Ended up with it looking a bit slow as Epsilon started to pick up a pace, and then FlipSide just reset them and went back and forth until they closed it out. So I'm actually quite impressed in the way Epsilon have been playing this. Issue is, when it comes down to the pistol, if they lose out on that, we could see the Swedes getting a nice advantage going into their T side. A very aim-based team indeed. FlipSide, while they are a T-sided team, they need to show off what they can do on the CT side of Inferno. It is going to be difficult, but let's have a look. Not Inferno, Mirage. Don't know why I said Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno actually, I think their first ban. Haven't seen them play it, well, the new version of it, at least yet. We'll get to see whether they actually do bring that back into their map pool at a later date. I'm sure they will. A lot of these teams just haven't really practiced it to a certain extent, and maybe if they are going to pull it out as a sort of pocket pick, they want to do it on LAN, which is definitely understandable. Obviously, FlipSide are a team known for their sort of mind games, I suppose, or tactical gameplay. Blade has been at the forefront of that for quite a while now, although hasn't really got them too far in many tournaments, so maybe they need to switch things up a little bit. Either way, pistol round, every single player with armor other than Blade, the man himself with the kit and double flashes, and already we're going to see the dink coming out from Freddy onto Blade.
That damage as well. Draken's going to try and follow it up onto the pick on World Edit, but unable to connect too much. Bomb going to be picked up. They will send their players back in towards the A site. The issue is, it's just going to be a full A take with no smokes here. They have full armor Without a split coming in through connector, while they may have a barrage of players, it's still going to be very difficult to get anything done against these long-range USPs. Blade, sit towards the back of CT, Electronic on triple. So they have the manpower for the job, right? But let's see how it fares up against long-range pistols here. Pushing out, they are all just going to barrage onto the site. Electronic tapping away, but not able to connect. Blade as well, trying to find something, but World is actually the man to open first blood. Freddy will trade. Still, Blade has to back off as the trades come back in and out. 2-on-2, sorry, 3-on-3 as the bomb goes down.
Yeah, Freddy's also going to drop that kit over towards CT spawn. That's going to make things a lot more difficult in this retake scenario. Also, the map control that they've gathered, Waylander will go down, and it's all onto Markelov. He's got 3 players left to find. The peak coming out already from Draken just gives them so much information. He can keep challenging because he knows he's got 2 players just waiting in CT, and Markelov has absolutely no idea where they are. You can see him checking the flank, and well, I think he's just going to make his way out of here. Maybe attempt to get a kit or something, or an exit kill that's an extra $300. Other than that, not really getting too much done, and everybody missing their shots at this moment in time. Freddy looking to shut things out, will eventually close, and Calais decided to go down with the bomb.
Why not, right? Got to commit to it if you're a terrorist.
If you've got to rebuy your armor anyway, it makes absolutely no difference.
No. Captain always goes down with his ship. Flip side though, buying up. As you would expect, pistols out, and Wayland actually ecoing this one. Has he dropped something? No, okay. He's just going for the Deagle armor late. Blade though, his money is still up 700. He must have... No, okay, don't worry. He's dropped a pistol over, I think. Either way, Epsilon looking very good going into the second half. The only issue is with FlipSide's force buy, there's still a very good chance, given they get the first couple of picks, they can take out this buy from Epsilon and sweep them from under their feet. A triple SMG is a very dangerous one, and considering one of their 2 rifles is actually only a Galil, it's not that good of a buy here for the T side. But let's see how they make it work. Into middle they go. Calais going to be looking for this opening. Electronic, he should spot his head. He does. Oh, what is Electronic doing? What? Hello? There we go. Eventually he's going to peek. That was so confusing. He wasn't connecting his shots. And Electronic wasn't reacting either.
Barber will be able to entry one more over to this A side. There's only going to be World Edit with the scout. How many tags he gets at this stage will be beneficial to the pistols. Looking like he's just going to fall back out. Barber going very aggressive. Gets tagged down low. We're actually going to see just the attempted push back in. Waylander will get 1. That's going to be it, as both players get decimated, and Markelov is left very far out of the action, almost just waiting for some exits.
I think anything will be provided to him, unless he pushes in too aggressively, but no real need to do that. No one's going to be exiting it in through the palace or ramp either. You can see even Draken ready to push himself back in towards the CT spawn. That will be the case. Markelov just gets away with his pistol. Can bring that back into the next eco, try and get something done there, but at the end of the day, it's still not anything to really work yourself around. If you have maybe a saved AWP, a saved rifle, you can kind of throw that between players. Can't quite do that with a CZ. While pistols are broken in this game, I wouldn't go as far as saying that. So, full eco. Waylander or Blade can get a pistol. That is it, really. But Epsilon looking like they're going to have 10 rounds on the board.
Yeah, and well, from what we've gathered so far, it is very unlikely there's going to be an AWP coming in for FlipSide in the next round. So just going to be playing with the standard rifles. Obviously, on the other side of things, we expect Draken to get his relatively soon. Very aggressive push coming out from Epsilon in this round. Just looking to clean up these frags. Now, res is a little bit low, so maybe there is a chance for them to at least get 1 or 2 picks. Obviously, every little helps when going into your first buy round. Markelov actually going to do quite a lot of damage to Barber as well. Now, he only has a Mac 10, so not really too much to lose. Waylander will get 1 extra kill, gets an AK for literally a second, and then loses his life also.
And again, Markelov really loves holding onto this pistol, you know?
He's got full armor, though, so if you had... Well, actually, he'd need a kill. If you added 2,400, he'd be very, very close to being able to buy an AWP. And then could just be buying a rifle, but unfortunately he can't actually afford it. He would need, I never thought I'd say this, he'd actually need 1 kill with the CZ, which gives you barely any money, but it would have been enough.
Either way,
It's extra utility and stuff. So
yeah,
it's
the
not
saved armor allows them to buy more nades, right? So it's not too much of an issue. We don't see an AWP pulled in, though. No one's going to be going for the glass cannon or anything, considering, well, obviously you'd want World to be the one pulling up the glass cannon, but he didn't quite have enough money. Waylander was the only person to be able to do so. But he's not exactly going to glass M4 and give the AWP over to World Edit, so it doesn't make too much sense. But either way, by coming up, Draken on his AWP, and Epsilon looking to continue this lead at 3-0 so far this half. FlipSide, obviously, want to crawl their way back into the matchup, but the issue is if they lose out on this, 12-8, looking very, very likely, and that is a very, very strong scoreline considering Epsilon are on the T side. Down into middle they go.
We're already actually getting window control, so a lot of map control just being handed away by this CT side. And they've got to be very careful because this position can, well, pretty much bamboozle you very, very easily if you are not careful. Now, Rez is just going to be waiting round the corner. Obviously, any aggression now into middle or window room does give him a good opportunity to actually find a kill. And Blade is literally round the corner. It seems like Blade is aware, but this is going to be the perfect split because they don't even have to utilize connector. He can just go in from behind while the rest of the players actually set up over towards ramp. We could already see the push coming out. The first kill will come in. That's going to be Freddy to actually get it. Then Rez pounces and catches that kill as well. And now, Wild Edit, he's got a lot of work to do. Not a whole lot to do it with. LA trades out. Lovely shot from Freddy as well. And literally leaves just Waylander left versus 4. And just very well placed around there from Epsilon. They pounce out ramp. They take all the attention away from that window room. And then it's very, very easy from then on out for them to catch the remaining kills.
The issue is, right, we've seen all these saves, obviously, from Markelov and now Waylander. If we continue like this, we're getting down to the same issue that, yeah, obviously FlipSide are not losing as much star economy as you would expect, and they're holding onto guns, but at the end of the day, they are losing out onto rounds, and that's what's going to start to happen. Epsilon are just clawing their way into this one, 11-8, likely to be 12-8 after this one as well, as FlipSide don't have a lot of money, even despite saving that one rifle. So it's really starting to go a bit south here for the Ukrainians. They had a great T side, and they need to convert that. They are a T-sided team, and they always have been, but still, this is not how we expect it to go for FlipSide.
Mac 10 back in play for Barber as he's looking to farm up some extra cash. Obviously, the other thing about saving is it means that you give money over to the other team, and you can already see Epsilon building up a hefty bank. Rez with 11,000, just under 10 will be Calais. And the rest of the team aren't really slacking in any form at this point. There will be some pistols brought in. Markelov with his trusty CZ. He managed to make a little bit of extra money in the previous couple of rounds. World Edit should also be able to get an AWP in play as well, if he wants it, of course. And they could even go for a double straight in, but the likelihood of that, I feel, is pretty slim. I don't know who'd actually pick up the second. Really, the CTs, there's not anybody particularly slacking. I just don't think their stars have stepped up as of yet. World Edit, not been too influential. Electronic has had a round or two, but definitely not the star player that he was brought in to be. Now we're going to see mid-control completely taken over by this T side. Of course, aggression is expected at this moment in time from FlipSide because there's not a whole lot they can do. Barber going to go with a long-range Palace Mac 10. I'm not surprised he didn't get that kill. I'm surprised even any bullets hit. He's still trying it, still almost getting it done. But in the meantime, the rest of his team have pushed up onto short, and the bomb is making its way through apps to go towards B, where the stack is.
Yeah, not a great read so far, and not what you would want to do, but either way, they have got the weaponry to deal with this. Let's see how they fare. First kill comes out, does see the trade, the M4 is out for the count, although Electronic, your favourite player, he's doing work. 2 quick kills with the P250. There's still this bait player as well on the site. Oh, they have to clear it out. It's so good. Freddy gets another one, but it's still 1-for-1 trades, and that is going to favour them. 10 seconds left on the clock. They have no time. They have to go for this, and we're going to see Draken push up. He's dinged. He's gone. Markelov has removed his face, and Barber just trying to see what he can finish off here. Takes down Electronic, but no, Blade's just baiting. He's hiding in market, so it's a round for FlipSide. And Epsilon, they would have won that as well. They would have definitely won that if they had time.
Yeah, no, that was very, very low on HP, but in the end, the time is going to catch them out, and that's a lovely round to pull off for FlipSide. Obviously not very much invested, only one rifle, and it was Electronic to step up with the pistol and Markelov's positioning that catches them towards the end. So 11 to 9. The CTs will get an extra bit of a boost. Well, actually, I suppose they get a very similar amount of money, but either way, it is going to be a boost just because they were able to win themselves around and then get onto that buy. We will see the AWP onto World Edit anyway, and at the moment, he's just going to be holding on to short. They are giving up quite a lot of control over towards middle. Now, they're trying to play it from short and connector, but it basically means that from lower, there's an awful lot of control being gathered, and the top of mid is pretty much completely given up.
Still, their CT side, not as much mid control as Epsilon had on theirs. They had so much pressure on it, 24/7. Either way, they have enough to make do with this one. As we see, Blade just be sneaking out. Flash goes through, doesn't do anything, but he still takes a shot, takes down Rez early on. And with no trade, Calais pushed down towards the bottom of the underpass there, not able to get anything done. He will finally emerge, and that's going to cause a reaction from Barbara as well, who pushes up towards ramp. This could be good. Issue is, World Edit's posted with the orb, although he's focused towards connector. Gets very tagged up, caught in the open by Barbar. Nice reactive play there from Epsilon after spotting him move. And now let's look towards the CT spawn. He's going to have to hold this off. A barrage of Swedes are running onto the site, and the entries from Freddy are just fantastic. He gets himself 2, and now the bomb going down with Waylander left on the retake. Can Finland prevail? Well, it's a long road ahead of him, but I'm guessing not.
Oh, gets the second. May have to eat your words in a moment. It's only down to Calais at a 1 versus 1. Peak will be coming in. Now, Waylander doesn't currently have a kit in his hand, so he does have to make his move relatively soon. The bomb's planted in a decent position for his opponent, but actually, from this spot, he may be able to defuse it without anything being done. Gonna go for the tap. Calais going to throw the Molotov, and that will end the round. That should be it. Done and dusted. Nothing that can be done by Waylander. Going to spray out. It's going to come very, very close. I don't know if he's quite going to be able to get it. No. Just with a matter of seconds left. He's going to go for it. I think he's got it.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that was so close. So close. But it's not going to happen.
That was probably the closest you could get the last tick. That's so unfortunate. Either way, you gotta commend him for trying, right? I would have run away at that point. I would have thought there's no way. So very, very unfortunate.
On the edge.
Yeah, if the Molotov didn't land, if the Molotov extinguished faster, if he even pushed into it, so I mean, he only took 10 damage on that hit, he would have gotten away with that. So unfortunate. Regardless, a great round nonetheless from Epsilon, and they will continue. Look at this early Palace aggression. I think Barber should be hearing this. Eventually he will. There we go. Waylander's down and out, but Electronic, he's still in position there, and he'll be coming in from the flank. Smoke goes down. I think they're aware. And Barber, while he does wrap towards the CT spawn, there's plenty of players over in the A site to deal with him. Electronic, namely so, takes him down from Palace, and Freddy B will at least refrag towards middle.
Yeah, the double AWP has come in for the T side. Quite an interesting play, but I suppose if the other team doesn't have one, and the likelihood is they won't, it makes it quite difficult to actually challenge at range. However, there you go, the P250 winning the range battle versus the AK at least. Still bringing it back to a closer scenario. Obviously, the big problem with that round loss isn't just the fact they lost the round and the score extends, it's the fact they completely reset their economy and made it sort of a one and done. So even in the next round, they're not going to have a bye. It's very, very problematic at this point for FlipSide, and the bomb, well, it is going to be going down. 2 AKs have been saved now. Now, this could actually change things, because Waylander has enough money that he may be able to get a buy on the board. The likelihood is World Edit can go for something. Now, Electronic will probably just be on a pistol or a UMP or something small, but at least then they can get an extra buy on that they definitely wouldn't have had.
That is true. A little more money for them to play with, but even so, this is really starting to shape up like an Epsilon game. The saves, while they are saving a bit of money, it's still going to be resulting a lot of the time in Epsilon picking up all these rounds, and you know, only 3 more, and they're going to be at the map point for the first map, and obviously this being their pick as well, this is a great start to go into it. Obviously, it is not over after this, because FlipSide have train to play on. And while this is going to be a hard one to come back from, considering some of the names that we have on the side of Epsilon, some of the great individual players, still, it could go either way, right? Hard to predict. FlipSide are oh so inconsistent online.
Yeah, and Train has always been a very good map for them, especially World Edit. He's had incredible maps on Train in the past, and this isn't really a map that you would say is strong for Epsilon. I think in the past few months they've only played it twice, and they lost it both times, so really, it is a necessity for them to take this map, otherwise the next one could be problematic. Obviously, if they don't play it much, you don't know how they're going to play it. They are just a very individualistic team, a team that could sort of switch players out. They play a free-flow style, very aggressive style, which is quite easy to slip into, so maybe they could just pull something out and train. I think if there was any team that doesn't really play a map that could do it, it would be them. But at least in this round, FlipSide are looking, well, I was going to say okay, but straight away, Trade comes back in. Markelov going to go pushing through the middle, doesn't quite manage to do the job, and this is going to leave them isolated from the site. Well, it spots the gap in the smoke, however. He will be able to bring it back to a 3v3.
Yeah, at least the trade comes out, but look at this aggression. It could get caught. Freddy B's going to be ready. Sprays, tries to convert, but at least it's a trade from Blade. Back and forth this whole round has been, but finally we see a peak. Actually, no, we don't, because nothing is landed. Galley just gets away with 20 health. And meanwhile, they've swapped positions. Barbar's pushed up over in the connector. Blade is aware. He's going to run right in, though. I thought he was. Barbar takes him. And now there's no trade. Waylander is too far away from the rest of the team, and it will just be Barbar to close it out. Epsilon, 14-9. And that's it. That's all they needed. Now FlipSide are on the eco, or at least probably the force, right? As we go into what may be one of the last rounds of this map here. FlipSide have just no cash to work with. They're actually going to save. I respect it.
I like it. They can't buy properly in this round, so they might as well just fight back from overtime. Obviously, they've only managed to get one round over on this CT side, so not really expecting a miraculous comeback, but if somebody can step up, if one of their players can go ham, there is still some potential. Obviously, this round should be a little bit of a no-go scenario, especially with the first kill coming in. It's going to leave Electronic completely isolated on the site. Nothing he can do in this scenario. Push will be coming back in, but just nothing to play with. No utility, no kits, no weaponry, no chance.
Lots of negatives here. And Freddy is one of them. Taps out Markelov in middle. Waylander now coming in through the T-spawn. At least he can have the element of surprise, maybe grab a gun if they try and exit from this position, but at the end of the day, I don't expect anything more than that. Can just see him taking his time to get in through the palace on behind. But to be honest, I don't see anything happening from this. No armor. I mean, Barbar's even holding the angle right now, so they've got enough players to trade. Even if he does get a kill, he won't get away with a gun at all. And there we go, Rez is just aware. Takes him down. 15 rounds to Epsilon. Buy from FlipSide, and it won't be too bad as well, considering they saved on about 2,400 with the loss bonus as well coming in. So, yeah, it's actually quite a good buy. They get an AWP, that's on World A, obviously. The rest of them on the rifles is fairly decent, but it's a 6-round deficit that they're at.
Yeah, and the problem is, because that had to be dropped over him, it means Blade, the man with a plan, doesn't have any utility to work with, so I'm not expecting a whole lot from this round. Obviously, perfect buy over on the other side of things, and they can have that again in the next round, even if they throw this one away. One round so far for FlipSide, so they're going to have to completely change something up. They've got 3 players over towards this A site, a little bit of aggression over towards short, and, well, 1 player in the form of Waylander just spotting over towards this B site, trying to make sure that if anybody does push in that direction, although he's bumping into the wall quite a bit, I'm not really sure how much you can really see from this. I feel like he's mucking up quite an easy jump, but there we go. We're going to see the nades thrown in. This is, of course, just a fake. Now, they haven't really done this at all so far, so it is just going to be a straight rotation from at least 1 player. Blade going to be pulled out of the site, but it's looking like maybe the fake will just do enough damage. Already a couple of players drop. Rez will catch one. Actually, Electronic over on the site is going to catch off the remaining players. It wasn't an over-rotate from FlipSide. They read this very, very well. Yeah, definitely important that they get this one early. Or, sorry, no, late into the game. As Draken, he tries to retrieve this bomb back up towards ramp. The issue is, obviously, for FlipSide, they don't know they can actually split easily into the connector, although Waylander holding it. Oh, he gets spotted, tapped down from Freddy. This is going to draw their attention away from the real issue, and that is Draken with the orb. He pushes out, World It spots him, he jumps across, and Electronic gets shot in the face as well by Freddy. This split's working out phenomenally, and now Freddy has to turn back around. World It will eventually wallbang him, and the bomb is picked up with 20 seconds left. World It has to stay alive, or he has to wait for Blade to push back into the site to support him, and he's doing a great job of it so far, staying alive, just crossing back and forth, but no, Blade, he peeks out from jungle, and Draken will be falling. FlipSide, 10 rounds, 1 out of 6.